Yes. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm trying to see if there is a way.
Do you need anything, sir?
Let me say good evening to every one of you. Of course, the moderator has said a lot, and I think there is nothing much to say about myself. But notwithstanding, I still have to touch some area where I need to touch, so that since the topic I'm giving is just to share about my journey that take us up to this platform of becoming one of the global teacher for the year 2025. Of course, I'm going to take you like throughout my life journey as a teacher. And of course, when we are talking about the teaching profession, it's no longer what you think it used to be in the past. I don't know the numbers of years some of us have spent in the profession. I don't know some of us that are still planning, because there is difference between, being a teacher, and there's difference between thinking of, staying in the job. Fortunately for me, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was so fortunate to talk to the newly recruited teachers in Ogun State. And I started my section by singing the popular song that ẹlẹ́dàá mi ṣògbọ́ máa fi iṣẹ́ tíṣà ṣe ohun rere, máa fi yè máa fi rà, máa fi kọ́lé ra mọ́tò, máa fi ránmọ nílùú òyìnbó, máa fi iṣẹ́ tíṣà ṣe ohun rere. And I was expecting them to join me in singing the song. Unfortunately, it was only few of them that were singing the song, meaning and they are close to 400 to 500 participants who were newly recruited into the teaching. So I was like, why are you people not singing the song? Does that mean you don't really want to, you just take up the job as a form of seeing it as an alternative way for a living, or what is really going on? So later I observed that majority of them that are there on that day, I can perceive most of them are not really taking the job wholeheartedly, because if you are really taking it and you see it as a call for yourself, anywhere you see somebody singing that kind of a song, you will definitely join them. It's just like when you do when you hear the trumpet when you are in the camp about the national what is it called, youth council, what is it called, the NYC national anthem. There is nowhere you will be. You will definitely jump up on your feet and make sure you decide, because you know what will happen at that moment, because it is something you wish to do. That is why you are there in that place. So the same thing is applicable. The same thing is what I was expecting them to do on that day. So I now see that some of our teachers that are really joining the job, is not really they really want to take up the job. They see it as an alternative ways of living, probably after they have tried several other means to get a livelihood. But in my own case, I'm happy to tell you, I did not join the teaching profession by choice. It is something I plan, I wish, and I'm happy that I'm a teacher today. So I decided to join this. Let me say, I got inspired to become a teacher when I was in SS1. For those of us that have read my story very well, it happened during my SS1 class. My secondary school teacher then, who is now presently the principal of that same secondary school, he was my class teacher then, Mr. Shegun Gutimeyin, was actually asking us, as we all know, once you get to SS1, that's the stage where we determine whatever you want to become in the future, whether you are to go to science to become a scientist, or you are to go into the business class to become whether a banker or an accountant, or whatever career that is related to business. So, or you decided to go to humanity class, either to become a lawyer or to become any profession that are related to humanity, or you go into the technology class to become a technologist or whatever. So at that moment, a lot of questions were coming up. People were like saying different things. Some said they wish to become a medical doctor. Some said they wish to become an engineer. Some were even contemplating becoming a lawyer. But one funny thing is that all these people that were saying they want to become a medical doctor, it was this same teacher that was advising them on what to do to become a medical doctor. He was the one advising them on what to do to become an engineer. He was the one advising them to do on what to become a lawyer. So when it got to my turn, and it was like, you, what do you want to become? And I said, I want to become a teacher. And for over, let me say, close to 20 students that have been, responding to his question, none of them have ever think of saying they want to become a teacher because they didn't see the teaching profession as a profession to be choose among all the listed professions, we have on the board on that day. So when I said I want to become a teacher, and it was so, the teacher was somehow in his on his look, and it was like, do you really mean what you are saying? Why do you want to become a teacher? It changes. Immediately, his reaction towards me changed. It was like about getting angry with me. That, why do you want to become? I said, sir, I want to become a teacher. I want to become someone like you who will become an inspiration to the younger one. Here you are, advising all of us on what to become. Those people that wish to become a medical doctor did not bother to go to general hospital to go and ask on how to become a medical doctor. Those people here that want to become an accountant did not go to bank to go and ask, bankers, to know how they will become a banker. It is you. So I want to become someone like you. He was like, well, if that is what you choose to become, that's fine, no problem. And I said, sir, but one thing I want you to know is that I want my own teacher to be different from every teachers I've been known. I want to become a teacher that will be known throughout the world. So for this, let me say, it may look like a mere statement on that day, but it becomes something that became a reality, let's say 30 years, 20 years after. So after my SSC, I finished in 2001 at Abobi Comprehensive High School. And people were like contemplating what is the way forward. I didn't have a complete result. So for that reason, I passed my mathematics, I passed economics, I passed geography, I passed some other subjects. And they took my result to Taichi Learning College of Education. And they came back with different courses. Among the courses, we have mathematics. Unfortunately for me, during my SSC exam, because in those days, you don't check your result online. You have to go back to your secondary school where they will bring out the the broadsheet. The broadsheet sent for the WAEC sheet sent from WAEC office. That is what they will check, and they will write your own scores out for you. For those of us that are already teachers now, especially those that are closer or that are registrar, you know that there is a particular list where you write out the results. So that is what we get in those days, because there's nothing like there's no way you get a scratch card to go and check the result online. Internet is not that common as at that 2001. So when they check it, they observe. I think I was the one that got the highest in mathematics. My results for mathematics was C4 then, so which was the highest among close to 100 of us. So, and a friend of mine, fortunately, I met him as one of the newly recruited teachers in Ogun State when I was about leaving the teaching profession to join the lecturing to take up I've already taken up the lecturing job. So he was now saying jokingly that now that you have the best result, you should have go to university to go and study mathematics so that you become a mathematics teacher. And I said, if that is what is your prayer for me, so be it. And by God's grace today, I'm a math teacher that is known throughout the world. So I take up the job, and they took my result to Taichi Learning College of Education then, and they came up with mathematics, economics, and some other things. And I said, I prefer this one that has mathematics. And that was how the whole thing started in 2001, because I gained admission same year that I finished my SSC. Immediately the result came out, they took my result down there. So, and that was how the journey started, and I finished in 2004 at Taichi Learning College of Education, and I became a math teacher. So 2 years after then, somebody that wished to become a teacher, I take up lesson work, afternoon, this and that, home lesson teacher. I do all sorts of things that can that can make me to really become that teacher that I wish to become. By God's grace, in 2006, 2 years after I graduated from my NC, I got employed as one of Federal Teacher Scheme teacher. That is Federal Teacher Scheme is more or less as Empower, or more or less as Ogun Teach they do these days. So it's a 2 years federal government scheme program that you have to participate, and after the 2 years, the state government will decide either to absorb you or to leave you to go and look for another job. But fortunately for our own, when we finished in 2008, all of us, 1,000 of us, were, we were given a full-time appointment as a permanent teacher in Ogun State under the administration of Otumba Gbenga Daniel then. That was in 2008. So when we were absorbed, I've done the 2 years. I put in all my energy as a primary school teacher because I was actually posted to primary school. Fortunately for me, I'm from Ijebu North. I was expected to be posted back to either Ijebu-Igbo or Agowe. But unfortunately, my name was, removed from the list of Ijebu North, and I was taken to Ogun Waterside. So that was how I became a teacher in Ogun Waterside. So I started the teaching profession in Ogun Waterside in 2006. So while I was there as a primary school teacher, the very first thing I best noticed is that I was posted to the first paper company in Nigeria. That is the Wokin Pulp and Paper Company, a liquidated, let me call it a liquidated company, where there were a lot of robbery around that side, and the students were chased away. So they just have to look for an uncompleted building to put those students to be teaching. So as at that time I joined them, I happened to be one of the teachers that, I was thinking of what is the way out for these people. So I put in all my efforts, donate part of my monthly stipend along with the permanent teacher there. We managed to put a shed down for the students in that school. And by God's grace, I have some of my students then, they are now teachers, and they are doing fine in the teaching profession. So I was doing that for almost 2 years, and I was still not feeling comfortable because I wish to become a secondary school teacher. So in 2008, I saw an application where Ogun State Teaching Service Commission were looking for science-oriented teacher to be employed as a secondary school teacher, and I put in. So as at that time, I didn't know I'm going back to, it's more or less I was going back to square one. So I take up the job. So when I went to Abeokuta to take up the letter, I observed is also going to be, what is it called? A voluntary teaching, just like what I have done for over 2 years. So when I saw the appointment, I was like, what is this again? And as at that time, I've already completed 2 years voluntary teaching, and they already observe or adopt us as a permanent teacher. So in which my salary then should be 13,000 naira. So, but the one I saw on the letter was 6,500. So that means I will shortchange myself for over 4,000 or 5,000 naira. And I wish to become a secondary teacher. Well, I said, well, if that is the way God wants it, if this is the way God wants me to start as a secondary school teacher, I agree. And I take up the job just because I want something. I want a place where my impact can be felt. So getting the letter again, I saw my posting letter. On the posting letter, it was written Ogun Waterside again, meaning I have to go back to that Ogun Waterside again. So I was posted back to Ayede Comprehensive High School, and I started putting all my energy. So as at the time, already somebody that I've been looking forward to become a secondary school teacher, I have to make an arrangement for myself, to prepare myself. How many years did I want to spend here? Then what are those things that I want to do here? And that was how I come up with a career objective for myself, which is to contribute and be at the forefront of the teacher that will be transforming education in Nigeria. So this career objective is exactly what is driving me as a teacher right from the one that I take up the job. So I got the permanent appointment on the 1st of September 2009, and I started the job, and I put in all my energy, everything I have in me. At Ayede Comprehensive High School, I do what we call afternoon lesson. I do weekend lesson. just because I want to make sure that the higher educational potential of that student, especially student taking mathematics in that place, must be better than the way I met it in that school. So I was doing that, and I did that for 4 years. After looking for transfer, I got transferred to Odua Comprehensive High School in 2012. So when I got to Odua Comprehensive High School, this time around, it is now, a town. So where I have access to internet, I have access to every necessary thing that I need. While I was there back then in Ogun Waterside, unlike these days, we always have seminars for teachers, a timely seminar. So all these timely seminar, anytime they organize a timely seminar, because I'm from the town, so those teachers that are from the riverine area always reject seminars. They will tell you, hey, Master K, you go and attend the seminar. We don't want seminar. So I attend all sorts of seminars. And seminar in those days, when you attend seminar, they give us a stipend of, I think, 7,000, some 7,000, some 9,000 naira. So there was a particular time I attended 3 within 1 week. Within 1 month. And I gathered all the money together. And that was the money I used to bought my first laptop at the rate of 27,000 naira. So that was how the race to be doing technology things started, because now I have laptop, because some of those trainings that we normally attend, they are 21st century tools to engage and improve the student learning outcome in mathematics. So this time around, I now have systems, so I can now do all sorts of things I like. And then I was doing it as a teacher, getting to town again, meeting different teachers that are like-minded people like myself. And I was doing this as a teacher until 2019, when I was shortlisted as one of the teachers to attend what we call a capacity training program organized for 60 selected teachers in Ogun State, that meaning 3 per local government. So, 3 teachers in each of local government were selected, and I was so fortunate to be among the teachers selected to attend a program called a capacity training on a STEM. So the trainers came from University of Toronto to train us. So after the training, so they were looking for those people that can, cascade that kind of a training, because the program was actually a train-the-trainer program. So organized by Co-Creation Hub in Lagos State. Co-Creation Hub is a company owned by the current the Minister for Communication and Digital Economy. That's Dr. Bosun Tijani. Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you, sir.
Hello.
Clearly, sir. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So
yes, sir.
After that, so we were saddled the responsibility to go and be training other teachers about the knowledge gain. So the training took place in Taisho University of Education then. So, and fortunately for me, it was the time where we have the student teacher from Taisho University of Education. So they were around in my school. I was like, oh, you guys, let me just share this training with you. And of course, around that time, we have undergraduate students, they have laptop, they have all sorts of things. So I gathered them together and I trained them in addition to the permanent teacher that we have around. And I sent those pictures back to Co-Creation Hub in Lagos. And lo and behold, I was shortlisted among 35 teachers throughout Africa that will attend what we call Goga Master Training Program. Goga Master Training Program is done in collaboration with Co-Creation Hub, and we have facilitator that came from University of Toronto. So after we finished the training, and the announcement came out, and I emerged as one of the top 2 teachers, and they said we should tell us what we want for our school. And I said, oh, all this training that you have given us cannot work except if you get a gadget that we can use to that we can use to support this kind of a training. And they said, what do you want? Okay. Then Dr. Bosun Tijani said, okay, with what you have said, you have won your school 30 laptop. And that was how I won my school 30 laptop in 2019. And I went to Abeokuta to take the laptop along with my principal from the Honorable Commissioner for Education in Ogun State then. That is Mrs. Modupe Mojota. So we collect the laptop. And when we go back to our school, and I was like, we now have laptop. but the laboratory is not in order, where the electricity there is not in good shape. And I was praying to Almighty God that, God, if I could have an opportunity to get any money, I wish I can change the face of this multipurpose laboratory into a STEM lab. As God wants to have my prayer, I now saw an application, because I was actually the school registrar, the school computer teacher, all sorts of things. I was like a foreman in my school then. So anytime they want to do anything, they call Kayode. Hey, they want to do this one, they call Kayode. To the level that the zone education officer in our zone then, they recommend me, like, okay, Kayode, you come and be assisting us to do something, since you are more or less one of the computer teachers that is versatile. So fortunately for me, I was doing that voluntarily for the zonal education office, and I got to the zonal education office then in 2019. So I was like, this work I'm doing, somebody was like, what will be your gain? I said, you don't worry. I see this as a level of developing myself. So as I then, there is something we call Presidential Teachers Award. So Presidential Teachers Award, just in that 2019, somebody won the Presidential Teachers Award in Ijebu here. It's called Mr. AIT. We call him AIT. So he emerged as best teacher in Federal Republic of Nigeria. And he was rewarded with branded new car. And I was like, I go through his story, and I was like, what this man is doing is no more than what I am doing as a teacher. I think I can put him for this application as well. So I now approached the zonal education officer, and the zonal education officer said, Mr. Adewale, this thing is tedious. So you have to go and put in all your record and every other thing. And one thing about me is this. Anytime I do anything, I make sure I post it online, just to inspire the new teachers or other teachers that are thinking you can't do anything as a teacher. So he now said, okay, if you want to do it, no problem. This is the application. I collect the application, I collect the samples of the application and what to do. And that was how I started compiling all those things that I've done. Of course, don't forget, as a teacher, I've been putting in a lot of energies and every other things like that. So I do that, and then, so I packaged myself and I put all those things together, and I submitted to the zonal education office. So on getting there, the woman was like, you were able to gather all this within 1 month. How come do you get this? Is it that you have already prepared your mind that you want to apply? I said, since I saw in the application that attach evidence of what we have been doing as a teacher, unfortunately, I have all this with me. So there is no point looking for all this. And I said, whoa, this is fine. And I think this is one of the best they have submitted so far at this zone education office. And I said, okay, no problem. So fortunately, let me say unfortunately, COVID-19 started. So we were unable to continue with the application. So as at that time, Ogun State government were actually looking for, teacher to start what we call Ogun Digi class. So, and somebody, the chairperson of the Mathematical Association of Nigeria, Ogun State chapter, Mrs. Adeola Igbokoyi, now recommend, because she happened to be our vice principal then. I said, Adewale, you have been going for seminar, you have been seeing the way they use interactive board. I think you are the best candidate for this. That was how I got nominated for Ogun Digi class. And I became one of the first set of 20 teachers that started Ogun Digi class in 2020. So after we finished Ogun Digi class, and I was like, Ogun Digi class have come to an end, and we have not yet resumed. Let me just compliment the effort put in by the state government. And that was how I started. I ventured into creating mathematics content for students. So I became a content creator in 2020. So when it is time, so they now say, okay, this time around, they want to see all the applications they've submitted for presidential teacher. Then they have not been applying online. It was offline. So I got shortlisted as a representative for Odogbolu local government. And during the period of training, we got in here, I met all the teachers. They asked me all sorts of questions, defend yourself, I defend myself. So 2 days after, the announcement was made that Kayode Adewale emerged as best teacher in Ijebu. So I will be representing in Ijebu. So 4 of us will be going to state to compete to select the best teacher in Ogun State. So when we got to Abeokuta, so I met a lot of people, as a teacher that was just doing. So fortunately for me, Ogun Digi class, my participation in the Ogun Digi class also assisted me and that's another thing I want you to learn, because I've already packaged something for you, which I'm going to share with you at the end of my story on how, how I got to this level as a teacher. So I have been able to, so when I got in there, they were like, what has been your impact? Can you tell us, is there any change you have made in Ogun State classroom? And I said, by God's grace, I happen to be one of the first set of 20 teachers that started Ogundigi class. And after we finished Ogundigi class, I did not limit it there. I started what we call Adewale Kayode online class. And with this, I've been able to reach out to all parents in Ogun State. That was when the person that shared the panel removed her nose mask. During COVID-19, you have to be with your nose mask. Dr. Ayodele Wamidoju removed her nose mask. Said, wow, this is Kayode Adewale. No problem. Let's continue. She was now asking me, do you have TRCN? Every question they were asking me on that day, by God's grace, with the help of the Almighty God, I was able to provide answer to that. And lo and behold, few hours later, when I got to Ijebu, someone called me and said, Kayode Adewale, you have done well, and congratulations. You are now best senior secondary school teacher in the whole of Ogun State. And the following day, I got official invitation from the Ogun State Ministry of Education that you are now the best senior secondary school teacher in Ogun State, and you'll be representing Ogun State at Abuja. And I said, wow, just like that? So, by God's grace, on the 5th of October 2020, I received a call from the Special Advisor to Ogun State Governor on Education, Mrs. Ronke Soyombo, that His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, the teacher-friendly governor, want to see you at Okemoson. And we got in there. It was 3 of us that was called. Myself as best senior secondary school teacher, Mrs. Adebiyi Mary as best primary school teacher, Mr. Ayodele Odebola as best junior secondary school teacher. And 3 of us got into governor's office, and they said, for this that you have done, Ayodele Odebola was rewarded with 2-bedroom bungalow, and Kayode Adewale, you'll be going on with a check of 2.5 million naira. Check of 2.5 million naira as of 2020 can actually take care of my 5 years salary. And I got this on a platter of just putting in little effort into the teaching. And that was how the whole thing started. It became, a news, best teacher, because as at then, it wasn't that common to be organizing Best Teachers Award. That was the first of its kind in Ogun State. The one they did in the previous year, I think it was the period of Ayodele Odebola, and they were rewarded and some other things like that. So my name, because I'm already a teacher that know how to use social media very well, I started making the news. I'm now best teacher in Ogun State, this and that. I'm now going to national. I need your support, this and that. So by God's grace, I collect my 2.5 million naira. Don't forget I've won my school 30 laptop in 2019, and I was thinking of how to put a new face on the multipurpose lab. So the first thing I did, I'm a Christian. As a Christian, I removed my tithes, which was 250,000 naira. And my accounting officer was like, you that your salary is not up to 50,000 naira, you want to pay tithe of 250, do you really know what? I said, that is the promise I made to Almighty God, that once I get this money, I'm paying my tithe on it. So I pay my tithe, and I take some portion of the money to renovate the multipurpose laboratory of that day into STEM laboratory at Oduakon. Unfortunately, I have this in the PowerPoint. I'll still share them with you. I thought I'll be with my laptop. I've already, so I'll share them so that you see the pictorial evidence. So I renovated the multipurpose laboratory into a STEM lab. I invited different people to come around to come and do the launching. Fortunately, the launching was graciously attended by dignitaries. People like ICT Director of National University of Education, Dr. Ademola Adenubi. And on that day, I realized over close to 200,000 naira as a donation. So, and I poured the donation back into the STEM lab again. And it became a news that, oh, a teacher that won, how much did you win? And you are putting the money back into the system. The money you are supposed to enjoy with your family. I said, that is how I want to do my own. That is how I promised that I want to do it. By God's grace, in 2021 again, I emerged as Outstanding Youth on Education by the National Youth Council of Nigeria. Back to back, 2021. I keep on putting on my best. I did not stay there. In 2022, I was announced as Ogun State champion for the Multinational Teachers of the Year, meaning I became ambassador for the Nigerian Bureau. I also emerged as one of the top 10 in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That was in 2022. As if that was not enough, I keep on giving my best as a teacher. I put in energy, train teacher, do all sorts of things with my friends and every other people. I have 4 friends. I have 4 friends in teaching profession. When it is time, I will still tell you, you need to choose a like-minded people. Those friends that I choose in teaching profession, Dapo Kayode, Boyoga Kubanjo, Paul Adelano, they are my friends. And after I emerged as best teacher in Ogun State in 2020, Dapo Kayode succeeded me as best teacher in 2021. Adelano succeeded Dapo as best teacher in 2022. And Okubanjo succeeded them as best teacher in 2024. So you must choose a like-minded people for your friend, as your friend in the profession. So in 2022, I became multinational teacher and top 10 in Federal Republic. In 2023, I was shortlisted as one among 151 teachers across the globe to attend. I was shortlisted. I was selected as a Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program, a prestigious Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program, to go to USA, United States of America, fully funded, without having any one naira. That means I will go to US. And by God's grace, I got into US on September 13, 2023. While I was in US, before going to US, I have already been nominated to represent Ogun State for that same presidential teacher. And on October 5, 2023, I was announced as second runner-up best teacher in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Same time, I was in US and I was announced as third best teacher in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And my wonderful wife represented me to get the gift from the Eagle Square. That was how I became the third best teacher in Nigeria, at the same time enjoying the Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program in US. And I spent 50 days in US classroom. Now, it now becomes an option. A lot of people are now calling me, now you are now third best teacher in Nigeria, you are now in US, what is the next thing for you? It's better you stay around, it's better you disappear in US, it's better you find your way, this is an opportunity for you. And I said, no, I'm coming back to Nigeria. I must not dent my integrity. This is an opportunity for Nigerian teacher. This is an opportunity for me to come back to Nigeria and tell the Nigerian teacher what I am seeing in the US classroom. By God's grace, I returned to Nigeria on the 4th of November, 2023. And when I came back into Nigeria, I did not relent. I keep giving back to the system. I organized a program I called Transformation 5130, a 4-day capacity program for all selected teachers in Ogun State for my US experience. I invited people from Dominican Republic, Moldova, Colombia, Egypt, to train Ogun State teacher on what you need to do to become a globally recognized teacher. I did that, and on the 5th of January 2024, while I was in US, a lot of my relatives were like, hey, this is a golden opportunity you miss. Do you think Nigeria, did they have anything to offer you? But I told them, they said, one of them said, you cannot come back to US again because this is a golden opportunity for you instead of you to disappear. But by God's grace, on the 5th of January 2024, I got selected as one of the top 20 STEM educators across the globe to attend the Limitless Global Educator Program back in US again, meaning I have to go back to US in the year 2024. So that was how I became one of the first set of teachers in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to go to US twice within 6 months, just because of the little effort, little things I'm putting into the system. So I went back to US in 2024 to attend the Limitless Global Educator Program, a program organized by IHS TOA, and the Limitless Space Institute. So I was in US in 2023. I'm also in US in 2024. So when I got to US, that my uncle that was telling me that you cannot get opportunity to come back to US again. So I picked my phone and I said, hello, sir, do you know where I am? He said, where will you be? It's either you are in Ijebu or you are in Abeokuta. I said, by God's grace, as I'm talking to you, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. He said, wow, this time around, you must not go back. I said, I will go back to Nigeria and I will still come back to US again. So I returned into the country again on July 2024. And I keep giving back to the system. I organized a program. Immediately I go back to Nigeria, I think of what to give back again. I organized a program I call Ogun 517 Go to Space, meaning we set up space exploration club in all the 517 secondary schools we have in Ogun State. Courtesy with my experience in partnership with Limitless Space Institute in Houston, Texas. I was doing this and some other things. I brought in a lot of initiative. I started teaching mathematics in Ijebu. I was doing all sorts of programs, giving back to the country. And on January 2025, Kayode Adewale was announced as one of the top 50 teachers throughout the world in a prestigious program called Global Teacher Prize, organized by Banki Foundation in collaboration with UNESCO, meaning I am competing for $1 million prize. And that is the result you can get if you are putting in your energy, if you are putting in your best into the teaching profession. On January 15, 2025, announced as one of the top 50 teachers throughout the world. 2 days after, my own university, the premier and preferred university, Kayode University of Education, they sent for me and they said the vice chancellor wants to see me in his office. And I got into the vice chancellor's office. And to tell you, I did not relent as an NC holder in 2004. I keep on moving. I've completed my BSc, completed my master's in 2015, and I started my PhD program sponsored by that ICT director person. So when I returned into the country in 2023, the university offered me an adjoint appointment as one of the alumni that is making the university proud on a global map. So it was a timely for me. And on the 17th of January 2025, the vice chancellor in his office said, Kayode, you have put the name of the university on a global map as an alumni of this university, and therefore the university is offering you a permanent appointment as a lecturer in this university. That was how I became a lecturer without applying, without doing anything. I became a permanent lecturer at Kayode University of Education. The story did not end there. On the 21st day of January 2025, His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun, the teacher-friendly governor, sent for Kayode Adewale through the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Adelaja Arigbabu, a fellow of the Mathematical Association of Nigeria, that His Excellency wants to see you in his office. And I was like, His Excellency wants to see me again? And that is 5 years after. And when I got into His Excellency office, it was like, Kayode, you have put the name of Ogun State on a global map. And this, your trajectory movement has really inspired us. As a best teacher in 2020 in Ogun State, 2021, Outstanding Youth, Martina Teacher 2021, Best Teacher 2000, second runner of Best Teacher 2023, Limitless Global Educator 2024. Therefore, we are appointing you as Ogun State Education Ambassador. And that was how I became the first Ogun State Education Ambassador in Ogun State as a teacher. And His Excellency said, That is not the only thing we are going to give you. We are backing up this appointment to support you with all your initiative with 5 million naira. And I shouted, wow. And he said, oh, that is not enough. You are going to look at Ogun State very well. Choose any part of Ogun State of your choice, and Ogun State government will give you a 2-bedroom bungalow. That was how an ordinary classroom teacher became an Ogun State Education Ambassador, became a millionaire on that day, and at the same time, an house owner within 3 hours. And by God's grace, on the 5th of February 2025, Kayode Adewale I defended my doctorate thesis, and I became a PhD holder on the 5th of February. To crown it all, my status changed from Mr. to Dr. Kayode Adewale. What have been the story and what have been the secret so far? At this juncture, I think, Mr. Abdulateef, please, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
All right, so thank you very much. So I will quickly be sharing those things that really assisted me, or let me say the secret, or what I can say, the secret or God's grace that brought me to this level. Number one is that as a teacher, I design a career objective for myself. So you too, as a teacher who has agreed to become a teacher, you have to choose a career objective for yourself. Why am I joining the profession? Hope you are not joining the profession because you just want to join, you just want to be somewhere, or you just want a job that will be earning you or be giving you money. So number one thing, you have to define a career objective for yourself. So I defined a career objective for myself, and my career objective is to contribute and be at the forefront of transforming education in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And by God's grace today, I am one of the teachers that is revolutionizing the STEM education in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Just few days ago or few weeks ago, the National Orientation Agency of Federal Republic of Nigeria, they give me an honor as the real Nigerian of the week, just because I have a career objective for myself. Number two things you have to do is that you need to collaborate with like-minded people. Collaborate with like-minded people. I've told you, I did not collaborate with people that will mess up with the teaching profession. I did not collaborate with people that will be tarnishing the image of the teaching profession. I collaborate with like-minded teachers like Dapo Kehinde, like Bereda Kubanjo, like Paul Adelano, who are now best teachers in Ogun State and in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So you have to connect with educators within and outside your country. I collaborate with teachers outside in Nigeria to organize programs of different kinds. On the 22nd of March, I organized the first mathematics summit that gathered teachers, mathematics teachers across Nigeria with a same NOFU, the popularly known as a same NOFU online my class, with Tambuas and other like-minded teachers. So you need to collaborate with like-minded teachers. Number three things you have to do is that you need to choose a mentor for yourself. By God's grace, while I was looking for a mentor for myself in the teaching profession, I chose Olalekun Adeeko as a mentor. And I succeeded Olalekun Adeeko as best teacher in Ogun State in 2020. Olalekun was best senior secondary school teacher in 2020, and I became best teacher in 2020. It was best teacher in 2019, and I became best teacher in 2020. Olalekun was multi-teacher teacher in 2016, and I became multi-teacher teacher in 2022. Olalekun became the first Ogun State teacher to go for Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program, and I succeeded him as second public secondary school teacher to go for Fulbright Teaching Excellence and Achievement Program. Olalekun became an inspiration teacher, an African continental teacher, and I became a global teacher in 2020. So you need to choose a mentor for yourself. in the teaching profession. Number 14, document everything you are doing in the profession. Anytime I do anything, I document it. I put it in my archive so that anytime anything they need it, or I need to apply for anything, I go back to those things that I keep as an evidence, and I presented them as one of those things that I'm doing. Number 5 thing you have to do is that you take your student for competition. No matter how brilliant you are, the best way to test your knowledge, to know you are one of the best teachers we are talking about, is to take your students out for competition. I take my students out for different competition. I get them involved in all sorts of competition, locally and internationally. By God's grace, of all the students that I've encountered at Odua Comprehensive High School and Imagba Comprehensive High School, I've connected all my students with at least over 10 countries across the globe in different competitions. Number 6 thing you have to do is that showcase all your activities online. I'm a Christian. The Bible says you cannot light up your candle and put it under your bed and think it will shine. So as a teacher, anytime you do anything, don't keep any idea to yourself. Showcase it online. Let people see that you are doing this and that. Number 7 things you have to do is that enroll yourself in a professional training and make sure you get certificate. By God's grace, as I'm talking to you, I've attended at least over 50 locally and international capacity training programs. I became Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert in 2020. I became expert in 2021. I became a master trainer for Microsoft, and I'm one of the 10 Microsoft Innovative Educator Fellow in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, just because I'm attending teacher professional training program and I'm getting my certificate. Number 8 thing you have to do is that anytime success story come, as you are sharing your story online, anytime you win any award and you are appreciated for some of those things you are doing, share them online and let the whole world know you have get this as a teacher. Then the last thing I'll be talking about is that make sure you give back to the system. And I think it's one of those secrets that the Almighty God have been using to reward me as a teacher. Anytime I have any new idea, I make sure I give back to the society. As I'm talking to you, this week, we'll be starting another program that I call Transformation 2060. Transformation 2060 is drawn out of Transformation 5130. And Transformation 5130 is drawn out of Transformation 1090, a program organized for all teachers in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as you are doing this, you are putting the teaching profession on a global map. And with that, I'm concluding that becoming a globally recognized educator is not just about teaching. It's about impact, innovation, intentional growth, and by following all those steps that I've listed for you, you are positioning yourself as an ambassador for excellence in education. And you are taking ownership of this career, and you are building a meaningful collaboration. You are showcasing your work. You are inspiring change within your school and beyond. And with your dedication and persistence, you are on the path to becoming the next teachers that will be celebrated globally. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kayode Adewale, and this is my story as a teacher. Once again, thank you very much.
Wow, wow, this is so amazing. Okay, Ms. Ryan, please take it. Please go ahead, ma. I'll come back later.
No, I'm just clapping. Thank you, sir. Wow, wow, wow.
Please go ahead, ma.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Wow, that was so inspiring. Honestly, it was. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. And congratulations, sir. The Lord will continue to strengthen you. Thank you. That was so inspiring. Thank you, sir. Coach Abdulatif, please continue, sir.
Wow, this is so amazing. Like I really, again, as I always like to mention, that whenever we have a session like this, it's always a reminder for me that this must go on and we must continue this. For me, I think I've been seeing the name Adewale Kayode for some time. Let's say 2023, back in 2024. And then I went on teaching practice. For those that know, I just finished my degree program last year. I went on teaching practice. And coincidentally, my CT was Mr. What was it called? Mr. Bankole. I know you know Mr. Bankole, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Mr. Bankole, and then he was also into a lot of things. He was a computer teacher. So I teach mathematics basically. But then because of his busy schedule, I also take up computer. So it was my city. He go out. It was I think the ASU state president or so in Ogun State. I think maybe you are not Ogun State. And then it was a lot of busy, and then we get talking, and then he mentioned like he's also going for he's also like aspiring to become a best teacher. And I was like, okay, the person that got it was this person. And then we start talking, and then he showed me because then I think he has a document that compiles like everything, maybe the one you submitted for Ogun State teacher then. And I was like, okay, these are the things you also need to do and start working. I feel like, wow, what is this? Okay, so then I've been hearing like I know that I need to connect with this. This is someone I must have in my circle. This is someone that is doing things that I aspire to do and I'm so inspired by. And unfortunately for me, one of the person I was very close with in school was Miriam, not so Miriam. And then he was also back from teaching practice. We were talking, we were reading together that particular day, and then he mentioned, he's 60, he always go out, he has a lot of things he's doing, and I was like, Adewale, so I was like, wait, you mean this person? I finished the name for her, and I started talking. She was like, like, and I started, you don't know how big this person is, how this. So that's how we started, and then we get to meet for the first time in school. It's really so inspiring knowing your story. In fact, as you're having this session, I went to Facebook and posted, indeed, behind every glory, there are stories. Okay, it's easy for people to see global top 50 teachers in the world, Ogun State Education Ambassador, limitless educator, all this award, all this recognition, all these things. Recently, he was invited to the NCA. I think if you forget to mention that he was invited to NCA to come and teach mathematics live. He was invited to come and teach mathematics live to share his story on NCA. I think the following week was organized by the National Orientation Agency. Then he hosted the event. So I was also like honored and like privileged to also be part of the event he had in Djibouti for teachers and students. So for me, is that I just want to like use this to also inspire everybody here that regardless of whatever you want to achieve, it is possible. And the fact is that you must be ready to put in the work. Because whenever you see anybody that is doing any amazing thing, you have to know they have been sacrificed. Imagine someone that is any less than, let's say, 50K a salary, and then he was given 2.5 million. And then out of that 2.5 million, he has to turn it back, put it into creating a STEM lab, got laptop for the school. You know, all these things are there. So the idea is that we have to reach the point where we know that as teachers, our work goes beyond teaching on the whiteboard and teaching students alone. We can make, there's no limit to the impact we can make. And when you make impact, sooner or later, you'll be recognized. In fact, most of the time when he's doing it, he's not, maybe he doesn't even have the intention of, or having in mind that all these things are going to come. But there's this saying that says you will always reap what you sow. You may not reap where you sow exactly. So imagine where he started, from the school he started in Waterside area. So all those things. So whenever you see anybody that is doing so well today, you have to know there are some. And that is why we are really doing this. Okay, because we want to get those educators that are doing so well that we only see that when they say tip of the iceberg, we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg on the online space and whenever we meet them, whenever we hear from them. We want them to show us the full iceberg, the one we cannot even see, the one that is in the ocean that we can't see. And that's why we are having this particular session. And I want to really appreciate you once again. I know how busy your schedule can be. I want to appreciate you for taking the time to actually share this story with us. And I also want to point out something. Aside from everything that has mentioned, I think the most powerful thing for me is the way you document things. Imagine that the way he's saying the story is even remembering the exact date. We mentioned January 5th, January 15th. You'll be able to mention the exact date that all this thing is happening. What about you? You're doing so much right now. Are you documenting? 10 years to this time, if you also invite you on a platform like this, how will you say your story? Will you be going from 2019 to 2020 and coming back to 2018? Or can you be able to say it, your story chronologically, say it from the beginning to the end without actually missing a point? Because you're documented. And if you also aspire to get all these international awards, you have to know there's really nothing, a lot of things are special about it. But what I want to pass across is that you have to know that it is what they do mostly is that they document their journey and they share their story, they share their impact. So if you have an award or anything you want to apply for, and then you now start looking for your story, start looking for the picture you snap. You take students for competition, they won first. You don't even take a picture. You're not a social media person, you don't put anything. They search for your name. Maybe we should do it after this session. Go to Google and search for Adewale Kayode. You're going to see the number of things it's going to bring out. For you, they search you on Google, nothing will come out. LinkedIn, you are not visible. Facebook, you are not visible. YouTube, you are nowhere to be found. All these things are actually very, very important. And then connection too. Connection, imagine someone, for me, I also got to know about Mr. Olaleka and Dieko, I think in 2023, and I see a lot that this man is doing. And then Dr. Adewale will come and say, my mentor. That is, there's this saying that say, Owen does not fall far from his tree. So the thing is that, what about you? Who is your mentor? Who is mentoring you? The way you mentioned it also, there are 4 friends, and each of the friends, back to back in Ogun State now, they have emerged as the best teacher in Ogun State, back to back. That is something worth emulating. Who are your friends? Who are your circle? So, sir, to just round this up, I want to ask you some questions, sir. I don't know if other people also ask questions. So, and the question I always like to ask is, let me start with this, sir. So, if you're starting out, you're just, let's say, go back to like over 20 years ago that you started out as a teacher. What is that one thing that you think that you have done differently, you have known better? Like, what's that one thing that you feel like, maybe I could have started this earlier than this, I could have started doing this earlier? Is there one thing that if you are starting again, you would like to do better?
Well, thank you very much, the convener. If I could have another time to start all over again, I think the best I should have done is to, repackage my online presence. That is the online classes and everything that I'm doing, because I so much cherish this, and I've seen that this has really given me a lot of visibility online. So if I have the opportunity again, I should have started this earlier, even if possible, as at the time that people have been introduced to online. Why people are coming online saying all sorts of things. I should have used leverage on that platform, to be creating content, especially in my own area of specialization, which is mathematics.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So another question I would like to ask you is actually in the area of money. For someone like you who has done a lot, who have made a lot of impact, who started out earning, what is it called? Let me say, started out as a federal or with a federal teacher scheme, and then you are later appointed, get a letter of appointment, primary school teacher, but because you earning 13,000 naira, but then because you want to teach in a secondary school, you have to go back and start earning like around 6,000 naira. So that's a whole lot. That's a very big gap, even for a teacher. So there are a lot of financial constraints, especially for teachers right now. So we see a lot of people, there are people that are passionate about teaching, but the biggest challenge is finances. My salary is not enough. My distance is not enough. So I want to ask, how are you able to balance it? With all your impact, with everything that you're doing for the students, for the school, for the state government, everything. How are you able to balance the finances together? Like, do you have maybe other source of income aside from the income you get from teaching, or how are you able to do it? And what would be your advice for teachers, for people who are actually passionate about teaching, but they are very concerned about the finances? Like, I don't even have the money to eat. My salary is not enough to take care of, make sure the month. How will I get the money to now also do this thing for my students and do all those things? What will be your advice for them, sir?
All right, thank you very much. Number one thing is, if you look at among those things that I outline, that really give me the grace to be on this platform that I am now, one of it is to have a career objective for yourself. So when you have a career objective for yourself, that objective will be the one that will be driving you. You know, my objective is to contribute and be at the forefront of transforming education in Nigeria. And if you really want to be at the among the teachers that will be transforming something in the country, you won't mind whatever is going to take you, you know, to sacrifice for that country. I'm a young teacher. My salary is not up to 100,000 naira when I first of all have the opportunity to go to US. And my daily money, let me say per my mail in US is, I think is around $20. So meaning that is $60. So that means the money per mail can actually take care of my monthly salary. So I'm not really after money, but I'm after that objective, pursuing that objective, and make sure that I'm among the teachers that will revolutionize teaching profession in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I don't mind. Let me tell you something. There was a time I was invited to Abuja to come and do a training. And my wife was like, are they going to pay for your flight? And as at that 2022, I have never been to the airport in my life. I have never been to the airport. So the man said, there's no money. The only thing he can do is that maybe you go and join bus at Fari. From Fari, you get to, what is it called? To Ore. From Ore, you see Abuja. And he sent 10,000 naira to me. My brother, because I feel like, okay, I want to contribute into this system. Meaning that I've been training in Ogun State. If I have the opportunity to train Abuja students, it will be added to my CV. I have to embark on that journey to go to Abuja on 10,000 naira. And when I got to Abuja, after the training, you all know the person I'm referring to. I'm referring to Mr. Kabir Abbas. On that day, after finishing the training, Mr. Kabir Abbas bought me 2 pairs of shoes that each of the shoe worth of 40,000 naira. That means 2, that is 80,000 naira. And when I was about going, I got an alert of 80,000 naira in my account. That is close to 200,000 naira. So at initial stage, if I'm after money, I wouldn't have get that opportunity. So I gained 3 things. Number 1, I became one of the teachers that is training teachers in Abuja on record. Number 2, I became a teacher that is wearing a pair of shoes that's worth of each 40,000 naira. And I have over close to 80,000 naira in my account as a reward for that. So in addition to that, you must see this profession as a call. An imam will never demand money to go and say prayer in the mosque for you. A pastor will never demand money to organize a vigil for you. Do you see it? Because they see the work as a call. So not until you yourself see the teaching profession as a call, you cannot give that kind of sacrifice to the profession, and you can never enjoy that kind of a thing. So fortunately, there was a training I attended just of recent. I happened to be one of the speakers, and at the end of the program, people were like, what do we have to do to have all these awards that you are talking about? And I told them that if you are a teacher and you are thinking of winning all the awards that Kayode have won as a teacher, if not, it's not a cause. You will never win one before you leave the profession. So the first thing you have to do is that you have to think of giving your best to the profession. An award will just come in naturally. All those awards are counted for you. I've started telling you. Even there are some that people will be the one to call me. In fact, if not, let's forget about being what is it called, pride or whatever. There are some awards that I've got as a teacher that I can't even remember some of them. There was a time that I was giving an award at the Conference University. I was unable to go there to go and collect the award. They just sent the voucher to me, the voucher certificate and every other thing to me. So never think of, if money is what you are having at the back of your mind, you can never achieve anything as a teacher or being recognized as a teacher. Thank you.
Oh, Isa, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like the more you share this story, like the more inspiring it actually gets. Really appreciate it. I don't know if anybody has any other question. This is very this has been an eye opener. And one that I'm going to like reiterate here is the power of having a career objective. So for me, basically, that's something I always encourage, especially not even teachers everywhere. you have to see the end in mind. You have to know exactly what you want to achieve from the beginning. So what type of teacher do you want to be? So today now, as a lot of us here that are here, we're on our group, Women Educators Academy group. So I want you to write out your career objective and send it to the group. If you are not there, Mr. Kenita, can you please get the link and send it to the group chat, to the Zoom chat for people that are not part of this team, so they can also be part of it. Because trust me, this is something that is going to continue. We're going to continue bringing people that are going to be sharing their story to inspire us. But then please and please don't forget your career objective is very important. Once you have the career objective, it's going to shape everything you want to do. As good as it is to have money, it cannot be the first on your mind as a teacher. So as Dr. Adewale has said, see teaching as a calling, and then you're going to be able to go for it. So we have a question here. Mr. Sumola Muitala is asking if there was a time you feel like leaving the teaching profession. Was there a time you wanted to leave the teaching profession?
All right. Thank you very much. Like the person that has the question, if you really listen to me very well, you get to know that I said I got inspired to join the teaching profession when I was in SS1. So something that you determined to do. It's not that people did not beg me. I did not run after the teaching profession. I'm intentional. Let me say I'm intentional in my move to join the teaching profession. So there is no point in time that I will still be. I will think of leaving the profession. I must tell you today, I'm a lecturer in International University of Education, and people were like asking me, "Are you a lecturer or you are a teacher?" I said, "I prefer to be called teacher than to be called a lecturer, because I see that I'm still doing the work of a teacher." And as I'm talking to you now, why I am supposed to put down my resignation letter, in my letter of transfer of service, I have to put it there that I still volunteer to be teaching at Imagbon Imaka till we get another teacher that will be transferred to that place to replace me. So that means I am not tired of the teaching profession, and there's no point in time in my life that I've ever think of regretting of becoming a teacher.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's another question here. Said Mrs. Kemi Afolabi said, "Sir, how did you overcome discouragement from people, especially colleagues?"
Yes, fine. I'll still take you back to that response, that early response. It's like this issue is like for those of us that are married among us, it's like when you decided to marry someone and you marry the person and everything started setting in, old age and every other thing, that beautiful faces you are seeing, everything started getting shade away, maybe that person that used to rub on what is it called, makeup and every other thing, and you now see the person when you get into the house that, oh, that bling bling face is no longer there. What will remain is that love you have for that thing. So no matter what people will tell me, they are discouragement will be coming. The only thing that have been keeping me moving is that objective. That's my target. My target is that I want to be among the teacher that will change those things that I did not like in the teaching profession when I was about joining, when I was a student. So I must tell you something. There was a particular time in my life, in that year 2020, when I was rewarded with 2.5 million naira. If some of you can recall vividly, that was the same time Lekon won 80 million naira from BB Niger. And it was a week after Lekon was invited into the governor's office, and he was rewarded with 2-bedroom bungalow and 5 million naira as at that 2020. And a colleague of mine who is aware of my price of 2.5 million was like, "What is wrong with you? Egbe, ọmọ kékeré ẹgbẹ́." Sorry, apologies to those that did not understand Yoruba. Ọmọ kékeré ẹgbẹ́ ló fún ní 80 million naira. And I come out to tell him point blank that, see, my own worth is more than the worth of what they were giving Lekon at BB Niger. And by God's grace, 5 years later, I'm in a competition of $1 million. If you convert $1 million to Naira money, that is over 1 billion Naira. That is my own word. So when you know your worth as a teacher, no matter the level of discouragement that can come from any angle, you will definitely overcome it since you have your target and you know where you are going. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate that. I don't know if there's any question, but then this time is fast spent. This is supposed to be a 1 hour session. We don't even want to
I
leave.
have question.
Okay, does anybody have a question? Anybody say anything?
I raised up my hand.
Hey, so sorry. Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Or let me ask,
Okay, thank you so
sir,
much.
can we still take one extra question, sir?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So, Ms. Shikami, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Adedeji, and thanks to Dr. Kayode Adewale. My question is, number one, you said you are planning a particular training very soon. So I don't know how I can be part of that training. And also,
okay, are you a math teacher?
Yes. Although I'm not practicing, I'm currently a teacher in a primary school, but my field, I study statistics.
Okay. So what I will do is that get my contact from Mr. Adedeji. So
okay.
I will join you into the training there. Says you may not get certificate or get any other thing because those teachers were actually selected by the Ogun State Ministry of Education. But at least as a convener, I still have the power to allow you to join the training. So
I'm so grateful.
I will give you that. Yes, I will give you that slot. All right.
Thank you so much. Okay, the second question I want to ask is that, do you mentor people? What is your, when we have someone in mind to be our mentor, what's the approach? Is it that I'll just ask the person that, okay, how much will I pay you to mentor me? Like, how do you initiate mentorship relationship?
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, by God's grace, as I'm talking to you, I can say I've trained over 30,000 teachers in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I have never at any point in time collect one penny from any one of them. So getting approached or approaching someone you wish to be your mentor is very easy thing. You yourself might have been doing something related to what that person is doing. So you have to go to that person with evidence-based. Sir, ma, I have been doing this, and I think all these things are related to what you are doing as a teacher or as an educator. Please, sir or ma, can I get something? Can I get more? What is it called? More encouragement from you, or what do you think? What do you see to what I'm doing? And can you continue guiding me on all these things? I wish to become like you. And of course, I'm telling you, that person will be willingly to support you since they have seen what you are doing as a teacher. So it is not something that will cost. You don't have to. Olalekan Adeyeko, as I'm talking to you now, is presently in US for a training, and almost every day we talk. And ever since he have been, I call him my mentor. It's not that I go to him to give him money to do anything for me. It's not that I say, Mr. Adeyeko, you have to do this one for me, please. I want to do this application. Can you help me write this application? No. I always, okay, you have done this. How do you manage to do this? He will just give me a tip. Oh, you have to do it in this way. You have to do it in that way. There's a program coming up tomorrow and Tuesday, which is one of the Guinness Book of Record that Microsoft want to set. I think I was one of the teachers he reached out to from US, and he said, Adewale, please, you want to do this, so what do you think we can do? I said, okay, no problem, we can do it in this way. Now that I'm in TASU, I can bring up TASU students. Like I said, yes, I trust you. I know once I tell you, you have something to say. So that is how you should be. So sometimes, all those people you call your mentor, they should not be seeing you as a burden. They should see you as a problem solver as well. And once they see this in you, they will always wish to guide you anytime you need them.
All right, thank you so much. I hope your question is okay. Thank you so much for asking the question. So okay, so just make sure you find a way to send me a message so I can get his contact across to you. I can be added to the program. All right, thank you so much, Miss Ryan. Please take over so we can round up the session. And thank you so much, Dr. Adewale, once again. This means a lot to me. I myself am coming to your DM. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your generosity for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I'm also coming to your DM, although I've been there this morning. Or was it this morning or yesterday? I'll be there again. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you. And we pray that the Lord will continue to strengthen you. You will not fail and you will not fall. God will continue to guide you. Thank you so much, sir. And for every of our participants, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. We hope to see you again. Coach Abdulatif, thank you so much. Mr. King.